Hello and welcome to Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Episode 166. Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, today is such a beautiful day. I low-key feel like every time I get on here, that's just been the groove, but it's the truth. It's so it's literally breathtaking. Right now, I am done, um, for the most part, finishing off a good morning walk. Guys, it's just such a blessing. Like, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, how you guys are doing. I pray that everybody is well. I pray that everybody is in great spirits as it stands. I am out here just finishing off a beautiful morning walk. I'm just taking a little short tea before I finish off, but I did want to record this episode on new beginnings. Now, I know I have spoken about new beginnings before, but it's just something about this new era I find myself in, hence turning 50. Thank you, God, has just been putting me through such a vigorous but true new experience in life. Just honestly I find myself shedding a lot of old skin, old belief systems, uh the things that I used to find so much joy in are just presenting itself in such a different way. And I want to kind of like unpack that, like what that may look like depending on whatever era you find yourself in. You could be maybe changing locations, starting a new relationship, um, turning 50, or whatever new start that you find yourself in. But for me, turning 50 has been quite, how can I say, it's basically like putting the mirror dead smack in the middle of your face, because you are presented with new perspectives, as it should, right? Turning a whole decade, I would think that you would be seeing things from a whole new perspective. For me, ever since I have recovered from my quote unquote back injury, thank you, God. Hello. Let me tell you, I can't say thank you enough about that, because pulling a muscle and just straining your back is just not cute at all. It was a definitely changing experience for me. And it really showed how, it really put a light on a lot of things that I was doing in the past, where it had its own wear and tear, and it was like the end of that particular era, right? Just really taking more caution, understanding, and respecting my body more, respecting where I am in life. I tend to just like, and I think we all come from this thing where we just go, doing the same things, and then finding ourselves in a big crossroad when things are presented and the old things no longer work. Uh, just the way, I mean, I'm naturally a slim person, but even saying that, putting weight in different areas, like in the midsection, was like a big thing for me. I was just like, what's going on? um a lot of things that I was doing was actually making me put on more weight in that area than not, which was very frustrating for me, because I couldn't understand um why that was happening. And it wasn't so much me coming from like a vain place, but not ever dealing with something like that. Like, even after I had my son, although I did have him when I was 18, so I was still young. My snapback, and I don't take that for granted, was pretty quick, and pretty much I have always been an active person. But when you are going through the premenopausal state, the things that used to work no longer works. Like, your body actually tends to go into this like fight or flight mode, and it actually starts to store weight in areas like survival, right? So, and I also think it's because your body is changing. So because like God, when he created us, he actually intervened in every section, every cell of our bodies. There is whenever triggered, it will go into survival mode, into helping us out, which can look different for many different reasons and may not look appeasing to us on the exterior, but internally, your body's just surviving, right? Is made to survive. In saying that, learning, I had to relearn and I'm still relearning certain things. I know protein is a big thing. It's a big thing for everybody, but especially when you are reaching a certain age, you have to really make sure your diet is on point, getting enough nutrition because, we are getting older and the body needs more. So that's one aspect, right? But also, how about just how you perceive yourself? This this weekend, I should say, yesterday took a turn of events for me, which I'm so excited about. So I have been mentioning, okay, that these hot flashes was really a thing. And I mean, to the point where it's like, I, I, I I just got to the point where I started to think about, guys, dare I say, I started thinking about cutting my locks. And it was, now I've been here before, but never because of where I am now physically, if that makes any sense. Usually it was just because I want to make a fashion statement. Um, and I just was like done, right? But this time, it was really because of just like comfort. Like my hair grew so long, guys. Yes, thank you, God. That is such a blessing. Um, my hair grew so long. It's going on 3 years that I have locked my hair. And just like after June, my hair just started getting longer and longer. There's that point where after your hair grows past, it starts to get very, very heavy. And for me, I got to that point and I didn't realize how much in the back my hair was weighing on me, but it was. And even like when I would put it in a top knot, it just got to the point where it just wasn't even uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. And that was my go-to, putting it in a top knot. I would be good. It was cute. And then it got to the point where even my go-to, it got to the point where just trying to put them together, to put it up in any like half up, half down was just like uncomfortable for me. So yesterday, I just decided to cut it. Now, I didn't cut them off. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I feel like I'm on a need to do on a to do type basis. You know what I mean? But for now, I still love my locks. I'm not at a point where I am ready to just like go extremely short. Although I do believe that further down the line, by the grace of God, who knows? I may or may not go that route. But at this season in my life, I had to make a decision, and I still, I love my locks. I love how long they grew. I still, just love having them, but I had to make a decision to bring them to be more manageable. To make a long story short, with the help of my son, because I couldn't really see the back and I really wanted my angle to be as good as it could be because they're locks. It's not cutting your locks is not the same as cutting your hair because you have more give in terms of the angles and going cut and the direction you cut, to make a long story short, right? Which my locks, they're individual, so I had to strategically cut in a way where I wasn't cutting them too short but cutting them in the angle that I wanted, so they can be symmetric in the way for the most part, right? So that's what I did, and I left it longer in the front and short in the back. Like honestly, not touching my shoulders, really just starting at the like nape of my neck. And guys, could we say the AC started? That was the key. That was the key. That was the key to the door of being cooler. My neck was just going. It was just too covered, which didn't allow me to get any air. So all the heat, when I would get hot, would just be trapped underneath my hair, which just made it so unbearable to sleep just going forward. So that's what I did. But in doing so, I rediscovered like myself, like I want to say my old self. I felt myself in style. Myself in style came back. I didn't realize that the length was just drawing me down. You know, it is really truly something to be said about that. You know, they say as you get older, go shorter. When you're young, go longer, right? And that, in my humble opinion, really does play a key factor because as you start to age, you don't want to be like engulfed and covered in just like a mop of hair. And even if you choose to keep your hair long, having uh waspy layers can actually soften the look, actually pulling it up, making it look appear to look lighter, feel lighter actually, and also pulling the eye up, right? Because we want to pull the eye up, we don't want to pull the eye down. And I feel like that's what my hair started doing to me. Now, that my hair was like past my collarbone a bit, so I did go, I would say more like half in the back, and I love it. Now, some of the parts in the front I didn't cut because they weren't as long. My hair was longer in the back than it was in the front. So I was able to angle it and have it in a way where I just am in love. So this is the thing now, and it's chic, it's sweet, and it just goes to show you how you can always be re you can always reinvent yourself. Like, don't be afraid to go drastic. Sometimes drastic measures is what it takes for you to make big moves. And, you know, for me, cutting my hair has never really been a big issue. Um, I always got like looked at kind of like crazy, like, oh, you're just gonna cut off all that hair, but like it's just like a tree, right? Every now and then you have to go and prune the tree, otherwise it's just gonna be a big hot mess all over the place. So your hair is no different. And guys, that was like the gem that I needed. It just I'm able to see my face, I'm able to see my neck. I just feel refreshed. And it just goes to show you how one thing could actually propel other things because, you know, my hair has always like kind of like dictated my sense of style, whether I want it long, short, or whatever the situation is. And I still felt good, but not as good when it just got so heavy. And that was another thing. My hair got so heavy. I think I mentioned it early on. It got heavy. I could not. I just couldn't. And you got to be careful because what I didn't encounter like this time around, I did start them off thicker. So as you age, your hair texture starts to change. And if you would notice, like a lot of people, their hair starts to like thin out, it starts to look stringy. And I feel like when you have that length, it just pulls on your scalp way more than not. So lightening up those areas um that is pulling can actually do you a lot of good. For me, I think I'm tapped out with the long hair. No, I don't think. I know I'm tapped out with long locks. That is, I don't I don't see myself, if anything, I see myself going a little shorter in some parts um, until that day where maybe I'll just go back to like a curly little fro. Who knows? We will see. To be continued. But I can tell you this, long hair is no longer for your girl. It's not for me. And it just got me to thinking when I was walking, how refreshed I feel and how many different areas of my life is showing up differently. Like I haven't been doing my nails at first. Again, it's always a reason for my madness. Like I stopped doing my nails because, well, I should say putting on false nails because I got into an incident with one of my nails where it just was not looking healthy. And I just was like, it was doing more damage for me to cover up that it wasn't as healthy than to just like stop getting it done. And honestly, I don't even have any regrets. Now, the only thing that I believe that I will continue, obviously, well, not obviously, but the thing that I do continue doing is getting manicures, whether I go get it professionally done or I do it myself. Like once a week, it's a manicure for me. Um, and it's just about, I just find the fact of acceptance, self acceptance is what's being thrown in my face. You know, when you're younger, because I'm not old, guys, right? I mean, I'm only 50, you know, when you are getting older, I just feel like this is like the best time to just really allow yourself to really evaluate yourself. Because you know, when you're like a young woman, right? We get so you know, the eyelashes, the nails, coloring our hair, doing all the fun beauty regimens, right? Because I was the one of the queens, honey. I mean, down to, I remember it was like years before I even showed my real hair. I was wearing wigs, weaves. So I'm no stranger when it comes to enhancing one's beauty with other elements. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's beautiful, guys. I'm looking at this tree and this tree is so pretty. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything, if you feel beautiful, whatever makes you feel beautiful, and you're not hurting yourself and you're not hurting anybody, you know, go ahead, do you. But I do believe it does come to a point when you do all these things and you just come back to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm having so much fun in this area of my life, just getting acquainted with myself, reevaluating things, my thought process, and how my personal views are, and just allowing the freedom to age gracefully, right? Aging gracefully, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, even down to coloring my hair, guys, I'm starting to question because, like, I don't know how I feel about, like, when I see my roots and the roots are white. Okay, they're starting to be more white than black. You know, certain parts, not every part of my hair, but like certain parts of my hair is like in the middle, some deep, some different parts in the deep middle of my hair, in the front, are really gray when my roots are grown out. And I'm starting to like, I'm doing research. I'm starting to, and yes, I do research because this is new to me. I do research for everything, guys. Like, I like to see how other people deal or have done or what was their approach with phases of my life that I find myself in. You know, it's a beautiful thing when you can just get on your phone and research and see how somebody have done it and coped with certain things before you have. You know, in the ancient times, we used to have a lot of elders. We would go to our elders to hear old stories and about life and how things were and how they coped and how they did. And it's just unfortunate now that we don't really live in a society where, number one, people are respectful or even appreciate the elders. You know, we live in a society, it's about, well, at least in the Western society, it's all about what you can produce, how fast you can produce it, which is appealing to your self worth. And honestly, as I approach and I am aging gracefully, I am pushing back on that mark. I feel like a lot of people that are from the Gen X era, we have a whole different outlook because, like, we're still young at heart. Like the way we dress, the way we speak, plenty of times, you know, when I speak to people, they cannot believe that I'm 50. I don't know what's the big deal, but I'm thinking because the Gen X has such a different dynamic. We're like a little bit of everything, right? We're like the end of the baby boomers has raised us, so we do have some of those elements, but yet we have the elements of like the Y generations as well. It's a beautiful infusion, in my humble opinion. So I'm definitely going to always push back. I don't believe because you find yourself in a different part of life that you should just erase everything that you are about or you was about. I don't believe that when you turn a certain age, you should be dressing a certain way. You should always be comfortable. I do believe in aging gracefully and also being chic with a little bit of edge to it. That has always been, guys, the world is waking up, so hence the siren. So do forgive. But anyway, you know, aging gracefully, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It just, if you're allowed, like, first of all, I am not, and I found myself, and I'll be candid with you guys. You know, one day you wake up and everything legit changed. I have a family member that I was telling. I said to him, I said, you know, he's like a couple of months younger than me. So I was telling him, I said, listen, 50 is different. It hit different. And I don't think that he really understood what I was saying because it's not the same. It's not. It comes with its own elements and it's just like it's quicker for you to find out than not. So that's the best way I could say. But with saying that, I found myself like in a crossroads, guys. I found myself being a little resentment. Not even a little, like resenting getting older. Like, girl, like resenting the fact that the things that were working were no longer working for me. The looks that I had before that was working was no longer working for me. Um, Things that used to fit a certain way was never it's never, or I should say it's not fitting the way it, or even the styles, some of the styles, it just is not working. And it's just because I changed. And it's okay. Change is good. That means that you're alive. That means that you're living, and even with my grays, I'm saying to myself, like, I'm not opposed to like dyeing my hair, but as of late, it's been more of a than do. Finding a different approach to deal with the grays, right? Because that's my badge. Why am I hiding my badge? This is my crown. This is to show that I have lived and I am living. I am alive. I'm not trying to be 25. I personally believe that I don't I don't mind what age I'm in. I'll always be me. Showing up authentically myself is the gold star, right? And I'm sharing this with you guys no matter what age you're in. You know, shedding shedding your old skin for the new, it's a beautiful thing. You mean to tell me nature understands the significance more than us? And I say that with all like curiosity because it seems so. If you have a snake, right? Snakes, I don't know exactly how often or every particular. I don't know if it's every 16 weeks or every. It's a certain amount of weeks, right? That they literally shed, they grow out their skin. And I remember when I was a little girl, we said have this corridor. It was a cold corridor where it was legit um for nature. So it was a whole class, like a big room, and you could go in. It had little other rooms in it, and you would have like gerbils, rabbits. Everybody had their own sector. Then you had the cold-blooded animals. You had the fish. You had everybody had their own sector. And I remember there was this big tank, and they had a boa constrictor. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what it was. And I remember coming one time and seeing it, and the skin, the size of the length of the skin, it literally came out of its own skin and it got bigger, right? And I just was so enamored with that. Just seeing that was incredible. The way the teacher explained it to us was just phenomenal as well. But from what I can remember, every so often they shed and leave their skin and they grow bigger, and it's just to say the same thing with us. Like as we age and grow older, right, we shed our skin. You look different. And I am at this point where I am saying to myself, when I am blessed to look back on the different eras of my life, I would love to see how I embraced my new skin. Guys, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I almost like legit want to cry, but we're not going to do that. Guys, I just want to share my journey. I am sharing my journey because I truly believe that every so often we find ourselves questioning where we are in life, and just knowing that God has ordained and has enabled us to live this life, why not accept and embrace our new beginnings? Guys, stay in peace, stay in love, and stay in power. Peace.
Hey guys, leave a comment, a review, preferably 5 stars. And don't forget to check me out on Instagram because what is popping over there? And also check out my YouTube channel to stay connected and see your girl's lovely face. Guys, I love you so much. Keep on pushing, and I'll definitely speak to you soon. Be blessed.